Fire at Eagle Point Energy Center in Orrington continues to smolder at this hour.
For the second straight day, town officials held a press conference to provide updates on their progress. I was there to learn more and ask questions. Fog mixed with smoke hampered visibility at Eagle Point Energy Center in Orrington Friday morning. Still, town officials remain clear on their mission, bringing an end to the incident that began around 8:30 Tuesday night.
The nature of this fire, the size of the pile, and the nature of a trash fire, no matter really how much water we put on it, it runs off the pile and out the door versus get to the fire itself and extinguish it. So we have to mechanically use equipment to get there and open the pile up.
Fire Chief Scott Stewart says they're erring on the side of caution to favor safety, while recognizing this incident has been a huge inconvenience to both Orrington and the surrounding towns.
As far as sending firefighting men and personnel into the building, that's certainly not going to happen now. There is contractors that have heavy equipment, that have steel cases around their operating cabin, oxygen within the cabin, fully protected. That equipment and personnel are designed and trained to work in situations like this.
Stewart estimates they've used 1.5 million gallons of water so far, but are still looking at a few more days of work. EPEC says since they acquired the plant earlier this year, they've been able to clear about half of the estimated 10,000 tons of trash left behind by the previous owner. The company says those efforts were ongoing this week ahead of the fire.
Plant personnel have done a fantastic job over the last 7 months to get the pile where it is today. I can only imagine what things would look like had they not been able to get about half the material out.
Due to the extent of the damage, it's unlikely we'll ever learn the cause. But Stewart says the source likely came from deep within the massive pile.
It's unfortunate that we'll never know what actually started the fire, but I can assure you this isn't something that will happen under our ownership of the facility.
EPEC says the portion of the facility that sustained all that damage was previously damaged by fire and was already scheduled to be replaced. Construction is still on track to begin this year, with plans to reopen as a transfer station sometime in 2025.
And the Maine Department of Environmental Protection says the air quality alert that was supposed to be in effect until 12 a.m. Saturday has now been lifted. But here's a look at what the air looked like for many on their Friday morning commute. This video was taken in Hamden. The Maine DEP's particle pollution forecast is at the moderate level today for eastern interior and mid-coast regions. However, officials are warning folks near the fire in Orrington to pay attention in case flare-ups occur.
There could be spikes one day and the air pattern shifts, and then on Sunday it comes back into play. So it is important for individuals to regularly check the air quality, which is easy to do. You can go to airnow.gov. You can ask Alexa what the air quality is in your region, and they will share the information from airnow.gov.
Bushy says 280,000 people in Maine are living with lung diseases, with nearly 30,000 living right here in Penobscot County. He says if you are in a sensitive group, use caution, keep your doors and windows closed, and avoid any strenuous activities.